Welcome, fellow vuestorefront warriors. Are you ready to discover the power of custom queries? But before we dive in, let me clarify something important. Have you ever wondered what sets custom query apart from the query overrides? It all comes down to scope. Query overrides affect every single request that uses that query, while custom queries gives you the freedom to use them on demand without altering the rest of the API calls. But enough talk, let's put the theory into the practice. In my previous video, we created a query to be used with query overrides, and I'm going to use that query in this tutorial. If you missed my previous video, check it out using the link above. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to add an additional attribute that I will render on the product page. The attribute's code is my attribute. To make the workflow with queries easier, I also want to create an export module with all my custom queries. To do that, I will create an index.js file in the custom query directory. Firstly, I'm going to import the custom query. Then I will create a module. The module is basically an object with string keys and assigned functions. The key name is the name of my custom query that I will use later with the composable. The function must return variables and the query, which for me is product details query custom. Now, once the module with custom query is created, we need to configure the middleware. So let's find the middleware config.js file. And there, I'm going to import the module created in the previous step. Let's find the integration configuration, and in the Magento config key, simply add the module. The key name, custom queries, is important here and is required. Once done, I'm going to run the storefront in the dev mode to build the app with the new configuration. Okay, so let's check if the storefront is working. Well, it looks okay. So now let's render our new attribute. I want to display it on the product page, so I am going to find the page in the modules, catalog, pages, and product view. And here I am looking for the getProductDetails method, which is a method from the useProduct composable. Now I'm going to add the custom query as a second parameter. There are two important things here. The key name must be the same as the name of the original query, and the value must be the name of the query configured in the custom queries module. Now, whenever the piece of code is executed, the custom query will be used instead of the original one. The last step is to render additional attributes. I mostly have configurable products in my Magento 2 instance, so I will modify only the configurable product component. And here I am going to add a header, and under the header, I will render my custom attribute. H2, my custom attribute, and below E and product, my attribute. So now let's check if it's properly displayed on the front end. Okay, so here you can see that the attribute and its value are properly displayed. This concludes the part about the basic usage of the custom queries. And now let's move on to some advanced examples. The main issue with our custom query is that it is static. It has additional fields, but if you want to have a different set of fields, you'll have to create another query and another and another. So let's say that you want to dynamically inject a part of the query. In real life, this can be any set of fields or a fragment, it's up to you. But how to do that? Firstly, let's remove this part, and instead of exporting an object, let's export a factory function. As a convention, the function will take one parameter named metadata. Then in the query, we will inject metadata fields. This is our list of dynamic fields. Now let's move to the main index file, and here let's add metadata parameter and pass it to the factory function. But now we need somehow to initialize the metadata. I'm going to do that in the place where I execute the getProductDetails method. So let's go back to the product view template. Inside the custom query object, I'm going to add metadata with fields as a stringified, space-separated list. Now let's rebuild the application to apply new configuration, and let's check if we still get our custom attribute on the product page. And there it is! A custom query allows you to flex your programming muscles and achieve more complex results by dynamically building the query on composable methods invocation. In my next video I will show you how to work with Use API Composable. Please subscribe and stay tuned.